Welcome to our Training for Trainers video, developed by the Institute for Advanced Architecture of Catalonia. This video is designed to give you an insight into the work developed in relation to nature-based solutions and how here at IAC we structure various courses. Design with or for nature, the basic concepts. Here we would like to introduce you to some of the basic concepts related to designing with or for nature. Integrating nature in cities through design. Even though the example of natural ecological systems reveals that mutualistic attitudes can help to shape the ecosystems, ultimately making them stronger, longer-lived, and more resilient, up to now multi-species coexistence and collaboration has not really been planned or embedded in the development of our cities. What if we start to design spaces not centered only on humans, but on the future of the whole biosphere? What if we embed humans, flora, fauna, and bacteria collaborations in the morphology and the materials of our cities, fostering collaborations towards resilient strengthening? What is urban renaturalization? Design has existed almost as long as humankind, and it has always been human-centered, as it has mainly been about adapting and domesticating the universe for benefit of our species. Concepts like renaturing and rewilding offer an unprecedented challenge: the opportunity to transform cities in open platforms for multi-species coexistence and collaboration towards resilient strengthening. In other words, urban renaturalization means to grow a biodiverse, collaborative, and resilient urban future. The urban environment has been developed through centuries as a complex machine excluding factors disturbing anthropogenic activities. Part of this process consisted in excluding the so-called nature, except for a few selected species from cities. The result is that today cities, due to phenomena as, for example, the urban heat island effect, are hostile environments for nature. Reintroducing nature means to create the conditions for nature to grow, designing urban morphologies and using materials that create microclimates to adapt and host life. Technologies supporting the integration of nature in cities. How can digital technologies support us to design cities where we integrate living systems, making the urban environment more resilient and ecosystems stronger? Data-driven design refers to using data as an input to define the final design or improve the design solution, better embedding the project or plan in its context. This information can include a wide range of inputs, from solar, wind, shadows, rain, etc. The data-driven design in the framework of integrating nature in the cities uses computational logics exploited in environmental studies to foresee ecological patterns and behaviors. Data collection and management. In order to integrate data and develop analysis, we need to rely on data availability. Large open data sets can be used. However, in case data is needed or not available, then they need to be collected through sensors. Data collected can be integrated in simulation platforms, allowing us to understand how the initial situation can vary according to the design decisions we take. Computational and parametric design. The use of computers using algorithms to develop shapes and morphologies is called computational design. Through computational design, we can create complex geometry using a mathematical approach and hence play with the possibilities through parameters and constraints. Digital fabrication is a manufacturing process whereby machines such as robots, 3D printers, CNC milling machines, and laser cutting machines are controlled by computers. The advantage of using digital fabrication is that each element can have a different shape morphology, on the contrary of what happens in mass production, where each piece is done with the same or a limited amount of different molds. Prototyping is a method to quickly test an idea or solution. This is usually done by building an extremely simple mock-up or virtual model to test. It allows us to gather data and validate the idea before building the prototype. Often this is quick and messy, using materials that are found locally. Prototyping. The preliminary version of a device. The prototype can help to evaluate different aspects, from the overall design to the structural design to the device's performance. It can be reworked until the optimal solution is found, satisfying all aspects. Prototypes can be made through digital fabrication methods or by hand. Monitoring systems allow us to monitor the performances of a project once implemented. It normally consists of a system of sensors, a platform collecting the data captured, and a visualization system or interface, as for example, a web page or an app. Design with or for nature case studies. We will begin with urban design with or for nature. Flower powder focuses on the creation of green corridors specifically for pollinators. The interventions are proposed for an area very close to Barcelona, using existing abandoned crops as structural elements to improve the ecological connection between different parts of the region. Firstly, there's a lot of computational design tools used to simulate the data. Also, it focuses on urban renaturalization, as well as data-driven design and data collection and management. Here, this proposal is specifically for designing with nature for nature. Building and public space design with or for nature case studies. Firstly, we have food voltaic, which consists of an urban infrastructure targeted to enhance the city's resilience. This is achieved by increasing food production, producing renewable energy, purifying the air, mitigating flooding, trapping water, and informing the citizens about environmental conditions. Through digital technologies and advanced manufacturing techniques, the system enhances and exploits the properties of living materials. This project is a prime example of computational and parametric design, focusing on data-informed design based on rainfall and promoting urban renaturalization and digital fabrication techniques. The ecosystem services provided include food production, biophotovoltaic energy production, stormwater runoff collection. Cybergreen Voltaic is a wall composed of 3D printed ceramic pots that host soil, plants, and a biophotovoltaic system. This system harvests the energy produced by the bacteria living near the plant's roots. The system is equipped with an automatic irrigation system and includes sensors detecting the moisture in the soil. How does it relate to the glossary terms? Well, again, it's focusing on designing with nature, for nature. Using computational design and digital fabrication tools, the prototype was built. And again, it focuses on urban renaturalization through data-informed design. This ecosystem services provided include food and energy production, flood mitigation, as well as oxygen production. Mysoscape is a modular system which supports the growth of mushrooms in the urban environment, public places, facades, and rooftops. The structure's modules allow for both food and construction materials to be produced. The modules house the substrate, straw, and mycelium spores for 3 weeks to allow the mushrooms to grow. After this time, it is possible to eat the mushroom flower and use the roots as insulation panel. The external surface is parametrically designed and tailored to control the environmental conditions, such as shading and humidity. It is designed to mimic the texture and function of tree bark, where mushrooms naturally grow and flower. Digital fabrication processes are used to mill the plywood panels using a CNC machine. It focuses on urban renaturalization through digital fabrication techniques to build this prototype you can see on the left. The ecosystem services provided include food production and construction materials. Comida combines nature-based solutions with robotic 3D printing technology and digital technologies to create an automated green wall. It is installed in a community garden where the wall is maintained by the community with the aim of growing food, providing homes for birds, bats, and insects, and generating electricity through a biophotovoltaic system. The tiles and pots were parametrically designed with a texture to encourage moss and microbial growth. They were 3D printed in ceramic using a robotic arm before being fired. The pots and the tiles are mounted on a structure with an automated watering system, triggered by humidity sensors in the soil. In addition, there were sensors incorporated into hubs that measure the air temperature and the amount of energy produced by the biophotovoltaic system. Here, again, computational and parametric design tools were used, as well as focusing on participatory design through digital fabrication and prototyping. The ecosystem services produced are food production, increased biodiversity, energy production, as well as education, as this wall is open to the public and maintained by the public of all ages. Teaching design with or for nature. In this section, we would like to demonstrate to you how we structure courses at IAC. At IAC, our approach to learning is very hands-on, and we are always learning from one another. We practice systemic design, focusing on design through research and research by design, which is both multi-scalar and multidisciplinary. Then there is learning by doing, where we focus on real case studies, real-time information, and working with industry. Our city is our laboratory. Sharing information is key. Through distributed educational formats and the global connectivity, we can produce locally while taking advantage of the knowledge around the world. At IAC, we are adaptable and horizontal. We are all researchers learning together. Urban design with or for nature courses. We would like to share with you an example of a course structure developed for the Master in City and Technology Studio. This studio starts with a clear brief, such as eliminating cars from cities or expanding ecological connectivity. The first phase consists of analysis and research, learning GIS softwares, creating land use analysis, connectivity analysis, and demonstrating the information through simulations. The proposal is then created based off of a catalog of interventions before creating the final proposal. To be able to analyze the impact of the proposal, different simulations are carried out, and as well as exploring how the system can be monitored. Barcelona Breath is a project where the soils are utilized as a means to increase the carbon capture in the area of Barcelona. The proposal considers converting conventional farming to regenerative agricultural lands through a network of UPIC farms. This includes computational design, data-driven design, data collection and management, and is designing with and for nature. The ecosystem services provided include carbon sequestering, food production, health benefits, and increased social activities. Building and public space design with or for nature courses. We work both digitally and physically. During the digital side of things, we focus on simulations, creating applications, computational design, computational analysis, often through parametric design tools. Then we have the physical side of things, where we focus on digital fabrication, prototyping, experimentation, and actually building installations at one-to-one. All of this is achieved through studio work, case studies, and project-based seminars. Here you can see an example of the course structure that is developed for the Master in Advanced Architecture program, taking an idea to a prototype. This often starts with a clear objective before being subdivided into 4 phases. An example of this is the project EpiClay, which was developed during the BUILDS program. EpiClay's objective is to make urban areas more livable and healthy for its inhabitants by creating a modular green wall system that tackles issues related to air pollution. So this is an example of living design, designing with nature for nature. It focuses on computational design tools as well as urban renaturalization and prototyping. The ecosystem services provided include air filtration, regulating the building's temperature, and increased biodiversity. If you're interested in learning more about nature-based solutions and the city, you can check out the further reading material. We hope you enjoyed this video and have learned something about how to implement nature-based courses into your educational systems.